When you think of gambling addiction, you typically think of a middle-aged man. But it might surprise you that recently it's been affecting high schoolers and middle schoolers, and the cause might be video game corporations. Today I'm here to inform you about the two backlashes that video game corporations have been attributed to video game corporations because of their increase in monetization of their products. Not everyone plays video games, but this shows that people can band together and produce change in the world and changes that matter to them, even if it seems like a very daunting task. For those of you that don't know, a loot box is basically people pay real money and they get in-game items, but they get random items, and so you have to pay more and more if you want to get a better shot at getting what you want. I chose this topic because as a socially awkward guy, video games have really helped me to bond with everyone, and including my best friend who I've known for over 10 years now, and that's why I decided to research this topic. This upset by the gamers drew the attention of the government, and that's what was able to cause the real change. So for my first point is the consumer backlash towards video game companies, and it all started with EA's Star Wars Battlefront 2. So before the game was released, they released some information about it, and this included how heavily microtransactions were embedded in the game. And Tom McShee, a reporter, published an article in January of this year that reported their sales, and it was 7 million, which sounds like a lot, but the minimum projection for their sales was 8 million, and many projected it to be at least 14 million. This drastic drop in sales due to people coming together and clearly expressing their outrage at how heavily monetization was in the game led to many other companies shelving their games in order to re-establish what their microtransaction policies in them were. This led directly to my second main point, which is the government intervention in the video game industry. Because the attention was drawn to this, loot boxes were labeled as gambling due to them having to pay more and more and having a chance of getting what they want. In Science Direct, this year published an article that researched the main reasons why people play video games, and one of the most prevalent among them was for competition. And many people, when they get too into the competition, realizes that loot boxes would be an easy way to get ahead of everyone else. So they would pay more and more, and as I said, it was labeled as gambling. So several countries have band together to ban loot boxes completely from video games. These include Belgium and China. And the Prague Post reported that recently, 15 European countries, including Spain, France, and the UK, have all come together to try and put an end to loot boxes without trying to harm the video game industry, because they understand how heavily it influences their revenue, but they do understand that it needs to be stopped. In conclusion, the video game industry's recent monetization of their products has led to consumer outrage, which has then drawn the attention of multiple corporations and the governments around the world in order to put a stop to this form of gambling that had gone previously unnoticed. Are there any questions?